All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for my favourite part of every single show. It is the breakdown. We have Gio joining us up now, Overwatch commentator, of course, and we're going to be talking Overwatch. And speaking of Overwatch, bit of a meta shift recently in the game. Yeah,
there has been. They've now implemented what is called the 2-2-2 lock, which is where you have to play 2 DPS, 2 tanks, 2 supports, whereas obviously previously we had the world-famous GOATS meta, where you'd play 3 tanks and 3 supports, and then a little bit of a triple DPS meta as well. So this is really going to change the dynamics of the game.
Now, speaking of changes, speaking of dynamics, we have a clip that you want to talk through,
yes.
Which is from last weekend's Overwatch League, where we have seen this new meta introduced.
Yeah.
Give us a little bit of background before we get into it very quickly, and then we'll run through the clip.
So basically, the whole idea of this clip is it's one of those classic stall situations. You're the defending team, you're trying to stop an attacking team from taking the point. And oftentimes in Overwatch, this doesn't really work because you send out different players at different times, and eventually they get overwhelmed. But this is a really good example of a defending team actually succeeding in their stall.
Well, let's have a look at this clip then and talk us through.
So here we have the Gladiators. They're trying to take this point, and the LA Valiant, they're trying to come in. Now here we actually see this amplification matrix come out from the Batiste. Now the amplification matrix will double any of the damage that is going through it. So the idea is that as the LA Valiant start to filter in, they can deal in so much damage onto them that it's going to be too hard. But what LA Valiant decide to do is they send in their off-tank player, Space, right here on the Diva. Now he actually puts up his defense matrix in front of the amp matrix, so he'll be swallowing up any of that projectile damage that comes in through that damage boost. And of course, we have a Hanzo and a Batiste right in front of it, both of whom do give projectile damage, so they're going to be mitigated there. Now, while he's hogging all the attention, we see KSF on the Hanzo actually jump in, start cleaning up those kills. We see him in the kill feed, getting all the damage they need to actually be able to pull overtime all the way down and succeed in defending the point.
So they succeeded, they kept their wits about them. Communication is such a vital part of that.
Yeah, it's really important because, you know, you always have this in-game leader in the game, and generally that works very well when the team is all together. But in those really high-pressure situations where anything can change in the blink of an eye, that's where it's not as easy to have that in-game leader. So you do have to be very communicative.
Now, speaking of people at home who can add that to the game, what would you be saying to add something to their game to sort of improve their Overwatch?
Basically, if you want to take anything from this, you need to know that A, yes, you have to communicate, and B, it's a really good idea to not all be bloodthirsty, going for various different targets. That won't work out very well. Take from this what they did, where they send in one person to try and mitigate that damage, and off the back of that, someone else to try and deal in their own damage, and that's how you get the cleanup. Because the second that you're all looking at different targets and all panicking, that's where you'll get overwhelmed by the attacking team.
So stay cool, stay calm, and stay composed, because you can always pull off that comeback, especially when things aren't quite looking like they're going to be going your way. Gio, absolutely fantastic. We've talked about Overwatch League, but we've got plenty more to come on the show, so let's take a look at what's coming up.